I took every single player who stepped on the floor in Game 3 of the finals, 18 of them, and I boiled their entire night down to one number. One grade, 0 to 100, that blends how efficiently they scored with how much their team actually won while they played. And the player who came out on top, it wasn't Wembanyama, it wasn't Brunson, it was someone almost nobody is talking about. Let me show you the entire grade sheet. Box scores lie to you. A guy scores 30 and you assume he balled out. A guy scores 2 and you assume he was invisible. But points don't tell you how efficiently they came or whether the team actually outscored the opponent while that player was out there. So I built one number that captures both efficiency and impact, and it reorders this entire game. This game is culture. Real quick before we dig in, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps. So click it. First, the method. No black boxes here. Here's the formula, completely transparent. Half of a player's grade is their true shooting percentage, the gold standard for scoring efficiency, capped at 100. The other half is their plus minus, the team's net points while they're on the floor, converted onto the same 0 to 100 scale. Average the two, minimum 10 minutes to qualify. Efficiency plus impact in one number. Now the leaderboard, top to bottom. Here's the spread, and it tells the whole story of the game. At the top, a 90. At the very bottom, a 9. Notice the names. The Spurs cluster near the top. The Knicks, outside of one or two guys, sink toward the bottom. The team that graded better is the team that won, but the order inside it is what's surprising. The number one grade in the entire game belongs to Devin Vassell with a 90. 11 points doesn't sound like much, but he was perfectly efficient. 3 for 4 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and his team was a plus 12 in his 38 minutes. Elite efficiency plus the best impact on the floor. By this metric, nobody had a cleaner night. And that's the whole point of grading this way. The loudest scorer isn't always the most valuable player on the floor. Vassell didn't need 20 shots. He took the right ones, made them, and his team dominated his minutes. That's a perfect night by the only two things that actually matter, scoring well and winning the time you're out there. Now look at the top of the board as a whole. 5 of the top 6 grades belong to San Antonio. Vassell, then Wembanyama at a 70, then Castle, Keldon Johnson, Champagnie, all clustered up high. When almost your entire rotation grades out efficient and positive, you don't just win. You win going away in the math, even if the scoreboard says 4. Now the stars, and a brutal surprise. Wembanyama graded 3rd overall, a 70, exactly what you'd expect from a 32-point game on elite efficiency. No surprise there. But the guy who scored the exact same 32 points on the other team, his grade fell off a cliff. And it's the perfect example of why points alone fool you. Jalen Brunson and Wembanyama both scored 32, but Brunson needed 25 shots to Wembanyama's 18. His efficiency was far lower, and his team was a -9 in his minutes. So the same point total produced two completely different grades. Wembanyama, a 70, 3rd best in the game. Brunson, a 42, all the way down at 12th. Same points, opposite nights. Quick interruption because now's the time. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. I'm not going to beg, but I am going to ask. So hit it and I'll keep going. And here's a quirk that proves the metric is honest. OG Anunoby had the best pure shooting night of anyone, 28 points on 82% true shooting. But his team was a -3 in his minutes, so the impact half of his grade dragged him down to 7th. A brilliant scoring night on a team that still got outscored while he played. The blend caught it. Now the bottom of the board. Dead last with a grade of 9.4, Landry Shamet, 1 for 8 from the field and a brutal -20 in his 23 minutes. That's the cold shooting tax in one number. When you can't make shots and your team gets buried while you're out there, the grade is merciless. 9 on a scale to 100. And to be fair, it wasn't all Knicks at the bottom. San Antonio's own guards graded poorly too. De'Aaron Fox, a 35 on 4 of 14 shooting. Rookie Dylan Harper, a 32 on 5 of 18. So this isn't a metric that just rewards the winning team. Both of the Spurs starting guards graded near the bottom, and San Antonio still won because everyone else carried them. So what does the whole sheet say? Average every player's grade by team, and the result is the cleanest explanation of this game you'll find. San Antonio's rotation averaged about a 61, New York's about a 50, so even though the final score was a tight 4 points, the underlying performances weren't that close. The Spurs were the better, more efficient team, almost top to bottom, and the grades prove it. Now the honest caveat, because every metric has one, plus minus over a single game is noisy. A bench player can post a big number just by sharing the floor with the right group for a few minutes. That's part of why a role player like Vassell topped the chart over the superstars. So this is a one-game snapshot, not a final word on who's better. Read it as a great lens, not a verdict. But even with that caveat, the big picture is undeniable. Efficient scoring plus winning your minutes equals a high grade, and San Antonio had way more of it. The Spurs didn't win because one star went nuclear. They won because almost their entire rotation graded out positive, while the Knicks leaned on a couple of guys and got cold everywhere else. The grade sheet is just the box score, told honestly. And here's what surprised me most digging through this. The 3 highest grades on the Spurs after Wembanyama all belong to non-stars. Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Champagnie. That's the third man decides idea quantified. San Antonio won because their role players graded like stars, while New York's role players graded like passengers. The supporting casts were the entire difference. And the metric quietly exposes Towns too. The Knicks' most important player all series graded a 57, just 8th on the night, dragged down by a 49% true shooting on only 11 points. His +6 kept him from sinking further. But for the guy who'd been the efficiency engine of this entire finals, an 8th place grade in a must-win game is a quiet alarm bell. And that's the real value of a number like this. It's a lie detector for the box score. The next time you see a 30-point game, don't just react to the points. Ask how efficient it was and whether the team actually won those minutes. A grade like this answers both in a single glance. It's the fastest way to separate the empty stat lines from the real ones. So that's every player from Game 3, graded with one number. The surprise leader in Vassell, Wembanyama right behind him, and a 32-point night from Brunson buried in 12th. Do you buy a grade that blends efficiency and impact, or would you build it differently? Tell me your formula down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.